It's a good day here at recteq. Oh, hello. All right. This is a surprise. Is this a surprise live? Is this scheduled? What is this?
We scheduled it.
We scheduled it.
We're a little late.
Told everybody that we were coming.
Yeah, we're running a little bit behind.
Oh, that's my fault. Hey, a lot behind actually. It looks like. Hey, everybody. I hope you're doing well out there. There's a lot of folks that are going to be cranking up their grill coming up this weekend. There's some kind of crazy event coming up. I don't know what's going on. I might not be. I might be there. I might not be there. I don't even know. But this video, the purpose of this video is to show you, ladies and gentlemen, some maintenance tips and tricks for when you get ready to crank that grill up. I mean, some folks are starting to defrost right now, Chef John.
They really are.
You know, and their spring season, because of that old groundhog, is going to come a little early this year.
That's what they said.
So we wanted to give them some tips and tricks. So ladies and gentlemen, especially new owners out there, we love you. We thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please put them down below. Chef John is on the ones and twos. He's behind you. He'll ask any and all relevant questions. So please keep them coming. But I'm essentially going to walk you through what I do when I get ready to crank my grill up for a special occasion.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were going to hit me with a question. Sorry,
no,
John.
Not yet. They're all just coming in. You know how they're starting to filter in.
Oh, yeah. First and foremost, this is my soapbox speech about nitrile gloves. If you don't have any, you got to get them, ladies and gentlemen. These just make your day so much more easier, okay? So very first step, I start out with my nitrile gloves. So I've got the beautiful Deck Boss flagship, as well as the dual fire behind me.
There you go.
You know, all of these are very similar. You know, the Bullseye and Smokestone are going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But a lot of these same principles can be taken with both of those grills. Okay,
Preach,
Chef
Jody.
John?
Preach, Jody.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Smash the share button if you know somebody out there that needs some maintenance tips and tricks, or if you know a new recteq customer out there that needs to tune into this. But shout out Facebook, shout out YouTube. No?
No? Daniel?
Yeah, shout out YouTube. Sorry, everybody. It's like a little delay to get to Daniel to answer. But I'm going to show you what I do when I'm getting ready to grill. So I'm going to use this beautiful Deck Boss. Now, I like to start out. I'm a scraper at heart, Chef John.
Okay.
And by scraper, I mean that I don't put anything on my drip tray. I just scrape off everything that cakes on there before the cook, okay? This grill we used to cook some beautiful Cheez-Its, it looks like on. And we've got some aluminum foil lining that drip tray, okay? So when I have aluminum foil lining my drip tray, I go ahead and do this step very first. I take that recteq grape brush. I like it because it's got a handle and I can really press down on it, John. Oh, Lord, let me lock the wheels. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen, lock the wheels so you don't hurt yourself or your grill, okay? So I take this bad boy and we just start cleaning up everything.
There you go.
Now, all of that gunk is going to fall down on top of that aluminum foil, Chef John.
Love
okay?
it.
So when we go to clean and replace that foil, all of this gunk has fallen on top. Okay, so we've scraped our grate there. It's going to slide on out and pull on out perfectly like that. We're going to take our drip tray out, okay? And we're going to remove this aluminum foil, okay? In preparation of putting new aluminum foil on there. Or another option are those Teflon drip liners available at recteq.com. Those just come off and you can kind of shake off the stuff. They work very nicely. But again, this is how I leave my drip tray. But recteq doesn't recommend that. They definitely recommend getting some of those Teflon drip liners, okay?
Why wouldn't you?
But again, we'll replace the aluminum foil. I'll show you in just a little bit how to do that. But we've taken out the grate, we've taken out the drip tray, and what we've got left here is our deflector shield, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, dust that bad boy off. Hey, fun tip right here, Chef John.
Yes, sir.
If you want some more smoke, you can actually put a handful of pellets right here on top of this bad boy, okay? And those are actually gonna smolder and smoke and create a secondary source of smoke for you. A lot of folks don't know that. But that's a fun fact about your deflector shield, okay?
Now, Jody, we do have a question. What about any creosote that's in the grill, like on the top part of the barrel, and starting to flake? What do we do with that?
Very, very good question. So normally I wait till after I clean all of this stuff out, but I'll show you guys right now. So if you've got any creosote or anything up there on the barrel, let me show you. Get on here, TaylorMade. Let me show you the folks what the creosote is. Essentially, It's some oils or seasonings that has wound up on your grill, and then we've turned it to a hot temperature, or for some reason it's starting to bake off. So you can see that stuff kind of falling down. You don't want that to fall onto your food, ladies and gentlemen. So what I do is I take my nitrile gloves and I'll just run my hand, or you could take your brush and just run that along the edges as well. Don't press too hard. But you can definitely do that as well. You can see where we're removing a lot of that stuff right there, okay? Now, if you're in here in the grill and you've got vents, you can go ahead and inspect your vents. Taylor, check it out here. You can actually see a little bit of buildup on these vents here. So if your grill has vents or a smoke tube, make sure that those are nice and clear, because these pellet grills are all about the airflow.
There you go.
So if you restrict any airflow, okay, it's not going to give you the best performance. Okay, very good questions. Keep them coming. But again, we've removed that creosote on the inside. It's starting to fall down to the bottom. Perfect time to do that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just dust. Oh, see, you guys see a lot more of that stuff just falling off there. Again, we don't want it to fall on our food. Okay, all right, we're going to dust all the shelves. Now, a lot of folks I see on the internet like to talk about cleaning their RTD. You do not have to clean your RTD right here. It doesn't, do you any good, because this is not detecting temperature, Chef John.
Tell them now, Jody.
That is not detecting temperature. This is not a thermometer. This is actually what's called a thermocoupler. Okay, so this is actually detecting the resistance of the electricity on the inside of the barrel, therefore giving you an much more accurate temperature reading on the inside of the grill. Okay, but you do not have to clean that, ladies and gentlemen. We get a lot of questions about people wanting to clean it, but you don't have to. No. If you feel better about cleaning it, you can clean it easy peasy, no big deal. But we never ever ever want to get it wet. Okay. All right, so we've pretty much got out the barrel and sides and vents clean. So you see what we're doing is we're kind of knocking everything down there to the bottom. Yeah. Okay, everything's coming up from the top and going all the way down to the bottom, okay? Now, you can see our fire pot. We've moved this grill, so it's kind of full of pellets, but we want to go ahead and we want to clean that fire pot out, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand in here and I'm just going to scoop out that stuff. Now, this is a very important part, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most important part of your performance of your pellet grill, is keeping that fire pot clean, okay? Now, a couple of things can happen. That fire pot can be so full that when the pellets dump on top of here, the igniter rod cannot ignite them, okay? Therefore causing your pellets to kind of pile up and end up on the outside. You can restrict the airflow, because you can see we've got holes down there at the bottom. You can actually cover those holes up with ash or pellets and give yourself some airflow issues. So we definitely recommend cleaning your fire pot out about every 4 to 5 cooks, okay? All you have to do, come down in here, get your hand in here, scoop out whatever little ash is in there, and I like to throw it down there at the bottom. I only clean out the bottom of my grill once a year. I do it on March 20th, the first day of spring.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now there's 4 beneficial things, okay, to you. Come on in here, Taylor, I'm gonna have to explain it to them. There's 4 beneficial things that go on down here with you leaving the ash down here at the bottom of your grill, okay? The very first thing that it does is it helps that fly ash from flying into your chamber, okay? Correct. When that ash has something to stick to, it is less likely to end up in your chamber and on your food. So the very first thing. Again, this is stainless steel. It's very sterile. That stuff is not going to stick to it, Chef John, so it's just going to fly up into your chamber. The second thing that it does, I'm a messy cook, so I'll drip a lot of grease down here, okay? That ash helps collect that grease, and it just turns it into solids. So we actually don't even have to clean it up. I only clean it up on that March 20th date.
That's right.
Okay, easy peasy. The third thing it does is it reduces the surface area that you actually have to eat up, AKA it removes the voids. It fills the voids in this chamber, therefore allowing your grill to heat up faster, because it's got to heat up less air. It's just science, everybody.
Science.
The fourth beneficial thing that it does to leave your ash down there is it creates a layer of insulation. So in the colder months, okay, your grill will not leak out that heat out the bottom of the barrel, because you've got a nice ash insulation layer. Okay, so think about that. Now, we here at recteq barely fill up the grill with ash once a year, okay? So you are less likely to do that as well. But don't be afraid to clean it out, you know, if you feel the urge to clean it out, okay? But again, it's gonna be really, really tough to clean it out. Now, when you wanna clean it out before the year approaches and it's over is if your ash gets up above your fire pot.
Right.
Obviously, right, everybody?
Right.
Now you can use a shop vac. I just like to get in here with my hand and scoop out that stuff. Easy peasy. You can save it for your vegetables, throw it in your rose pots and stuff like that, and it'll help feed them, give them some nitrogen.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Sure enough,
But again, you can get to shop vac. I don't like getting the shop vac because it makes the shop vac messy. Okay, you actually make the end of that little sucker messy, and when you go to clean anything else with it, you're likely to turn it black from all of the ash. Okay, so if you get yourself a shop vac, get a cheap one, get a bucket vac that sits like right on top of one of them cheap buckets. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just only use it for the grill, right? Okay. Any questions, Chef
Well,
John?
we got 230 people out there right now.
Oh
Jody.
yeah, shoot yeah. Guys, make sure you smash that share button. It's all about maintenance right now. We're getting you ready for an approaching holidays. We're getting you ready for the big games. We're getting you ready for those graduations and weddings that you're going to be cooking for. Again, these are the maintenance tips and tricks that you need to go through on your grill to make sure that it performs to its optimum potential
There we go.
for those super important dates, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, we've gotten all of that stuff knocked down in there into the bottom. I got my fire pot cleaned, easy peasy. I'm gonna do some visual inspections. I'm gonna see if anything is crazy in there, right? Because I'm gonna go ahead and jump ahead of that, take advantage of that recteq customer service, call up those ladies and gentlemen because they know what they're talking about. They'll even get on FaceTime with you if you need them to. But if you see any issues, just go ahead and jump ahead of them. Give us a call, 706-922-0890. We got a lot of folks up there right now ready to help you, ready to answer those questions if you just got something on the top of your head right now. So I've seen a little bit more creosote here. That's just gonna get blown up by that airflow. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that down. Now remember everybody, your heat and smoke are coming up this air gap right here and this air gap right there, okay? So if you remove anything near that, it's not gonna end up blowing any of that loose stuff onto your food. You can even get in there and blow it out just like that, easy peasy. So this one is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and replace my deflector. Now you always want your deflector to go in properly, okay?
Right.
The reason being is you could technically put your deflector in here like this, okay? Go ahead, TaylorMade, give them a look at what that looks like. Now that is not gonna deflect your heat appropriately to the right and to the left like we need it to.
That's right.
Because the hole is gonna be here and it's gonna be right here, okay? So make sure that you put your deflector in there properly so that your heat and smoke come out of this area and this area as well. That's another important feature to point out of recteq is we've got a center place fire pot, Chef John.
That's right.
If we had a fire pot on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side, that side of the grill would actually be hotter than the other side because of the flame source.
Yes, sir.
Now the reason why we put it right there in the center is we want you to have the most consistent and even cooking temperatures left to right, front to back, right?
That's right.
All right, again, replacing that deflector. If I'm going to do a low and slow right now and I want some extra smoke, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take me a handful of my pellets and I'm just gonna put them on there just like that. And I'm gonna spread them out, okay? What that's gonna do? Again, that's gonna smolder, create a secondary source of smoke for you. You could also buy a smoke tube if you'd like. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Daniel, you okay over there? You giving a little stank eye? All right, we're gonna go to replace our deflector in there, okay? Put it in there. Again, get those Teflon drip liners available at recteq.com. Make your life so much easier. Go ahead and replace the grate here. Again, we've already cleaned it. We're ready for our cook. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We'll close the lid. Well, good time to inspect your lid. Make sure. Again, we do not seal our lid with a gasket for a reason. We want a lot more airflow than the competitors. We get up hotter than the competitors, and we also hold a temperature better than the competitors. And we design the grill without that gasket material. So you want to make sure that that smoke, that creosote, that grease isn't creating its own little gasket and kind of sealing your lid, okay? Again, we want smoke and heat to exit so we can get brand new smoke and heat that It's going to flavor our delicious food. Chef John, you got a good question?
Yeah,
from the
they're
folks
all
out there?
coming in now, Jody. So we have a good question. This one's coming from Jason Donnelly. Jason asks, can I replace the V-shaped lip that holds the downhill edge on the drip tray? The V-shape, no, you can't replace that, Jody. That's welded in there. Like, it's not gonna replace.
But if he wants to, he can.
Well, I mean, if he can.
But we can't. No, sir, that's not like a replacement part or anything that we sell. But great questions. Keep them coming. So the next thing I look for is if we're gonna put the grill up, I'm gonna come over here to my controller, and I'm gonna just make sure that my probe ports are closed. It's very important when you're putting your grill away, or if you're not using your probe ports, to make sure that they're closed and keep that moisture out of there, okay? Now, if I'm just turning my grill on from it sitting for a month or two, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove absolutely all of these pellets. Yes, I'm gonna remove all of these pellets because down at the bottom or inside of the hopper, the atmospheric moisture could have gotten to them, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna visually inspect my pellets. If at any time I pull my hand up and I see any large shavings or anything like that, I know I need to go ahead and replace absolutely all of my pellets. But I'm doing a visual inspection right now instead of removing them all, and these look good. Now, it's important for you to let your grill empty its hopper about every 6 to 7 bags of pellets, okay? The reason being is when you open those bags of pellets and you dump them in there, a lot of times there's gonna be some of those large shavings and pellet dust left in there, and you're gonna dump that pellet dust in there, and that's eventually just gonna wind up at the bottom of your auger tube, and then it may cause you an issue. Okay, we want to completely remove that issue out of your life. So let your grill run itself empty about every 6 to 7 bags of pellets. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You can do it more. I wouldn't suggest going longer than that. But again, especially if you're getting pellets from some other guys, a lot of folks don't go through the strenuous protocol that we go through when we mill our pellets. You got some good questions out there, Chef John?
Yes, sir. These are all going to be about the smokestack, Jody.
Awesome.
Now we have a couple questions about how to clean the smokestack on the smoke box and how to clean the smokestack if you have a 700.
Okay, so very good question. If you have it on the smoke box or if you have it on the 700, it's going to be the same exact thing. You'll take everything, take the 2 levels out there so you can access, okay, your tube. Get your hand in there and just, you know, pull anything nasty in there that could be in there. Again, this one hasn't been used very long, so we wouldn't worry about cleaning it. But you can actually also take your smokestack cap off and then visually inspect it as well. But I have never had to physically clean that stack personally at my house yet. But I'm sure the time's coming in a year or two. Now, if you're doing a lot of greasy stuff, if you're doing a lot of pork butts, a lot of briskets, a lot of things like that, you know, it's going to get a lot more grease. That grease will hold more of that creosote and the pellet dust, and you're going to get a lot more nasty stuff on there. Again, I love these nitrile gloves. I broke one and it got the tips of my fingers dirty, so I don't want to go this rest of this video with dirty fingertips. But any more questions out there, Chef John? Very good questions, y'all. Again, it's easy to get in there, clean it. Don't overthink it. You can, again, you could take the smokestack cap off, stick your hand in there. You can get a brush if you need to. The same thing from the inside. We've got this dual fire opened up right now, and you can see some more of that creosote that I was talking about on the barrel. This is not paint. I can't tell you how many times a customer has contacted me and told me, Jody, the inside of my grill, the paint is peeling. I was like, which grill do you have? You know, I've got the dual fire. Well, it's a stainless steel barrel. It's really tough for paint to peel off the inside of that stainless steel barrel.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of folks will confuse that creosote for that paint peeling. But again, I just like to knock it off. Therefore, it doesn't end up in my food. But we talked a lot about airflow, Chef John.
Yes, sir, we have.
Airflow is very, very important when you're talking about recteq pellet grills or any other pellet grills as well. If we're talking about the bullseye,
yes, sir,
I definitely recommend you checking out those vents, making sure that your vents are clean. Because again, it's all about airflow, and you want the maximum amount of airflow so you can get the maximum amount of BTUs and most precision. Again, these grills are super, super versatile. But, you know, if you don't put the right gas in a Lamborghini, it's not going to run right.
That's right.
If you don't do your maintenance, lights, you know, on your Porsche. That son of a gun is going to blow a gasket. Again, it's super important for you to maintain your grill. Not for just the performance of the grill, but also the taste of the food for your friends and family.
That's right.
You know, you definitely want to make sure that you keep grease off of your drip tray, because that grease will just burn and create nasty stale flavors on the inside of the grill. So when I think about it, anytime I'm cooking hot and fast, I'm going to be cooking on the right hand side of that grill or wherever my drip tray is going, because once that grease goes down, I don't want it to go very far to get the heck out of the grill, right? I want it to go the least amount of room to get out of the grill. So anytime I'm cooking at a very high temperature, I'm going to hang out on the side of that drip tray is leaning, and I'm going to do that. Now, speaking of the drip tray and your drip bucket, you want to inspect it. Now, we actually left this one outside. It's got a mixture of water and grease in it. That's amazing. You want to make sure that you dump that really quickly. I'll dump it so you guys don't have to see that. What we do here at recteq is we actually keep, you heard me mention a $5 bucket earlier. We actually keep a gallon bucket with a lid here, and we dump our grease into that bucket.
That's right.
And then we transfer that bucket to somebody that actually recycles the oil for us. You can do the same thing. A lot of your local restaurants will allow you to dump that grease into their grease trap.
That's right.
Or grease collection, because they actually get money for it. So make a good relationship at your local sports bar, and they might let you dump your leftover recteq grease in their grease collection thing. We got some more good questions. Guys, keep the questions coming. We're live right now. Make sure you share this video. We're getting you ready for those big occasions. We got a big occasion coming up this weekend. Go ahead, Chef John.
This was coming from Christopher Rose. Christopher asked, Jody, how do you recommend getting pellets out from below the safety grate in your hopper?
Man, that's a great question. I just turn the grill on and let the grill do all of the work. Once you turn your grill on, that auger and that hopper is going to start moving those pellets, and it'll move it to your fire pot, where you can easily just scoop those out, throw them away, or throw them down at the bottom of your grill. Very good question. You guys keep the questions coming. Chef John, you got another one?
Yes, sir. This was coming from Michael Crow. Michael asks,
Michael.
He says, Jody, will the smoke box hold a good temp to smoke my ribs inside?
No, absolutely. Smoke box will hold a consistent temp because it's hooked up to that PID controller. So most definitely just use your 2 thermometers at the front to monitor your temperature at the level that you got your ribs at. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Keep the questions coming, guys. Again, maintenance. Let's go.
This was coming from Garrett. Garrett asks, Jody, what do you recommend for cleaning the light inside the smoker?
Oh man, that's a great question. So a lot of folks out there have the RT700 or RT680, and those grills actually have a light on the inside similar to the BFG, the RT2500s, okay? So that light actually has a glass lens on it that you can pop out. Some folks will actually leave it in some oven cleaner in a Ziploc bag for about 5 to 6 hours. It comes super, super clean. Me, what I like to do is when it's really hot, I'll take my recteq grate brush, and I'll actually scrub it when it's hot. You can actually use this edge as well to scrape it. Just be careful, you don't want to break it. Hey, but it's okay if you break it because it's under warranty, baby. Call recteq up, get them to replace it for you. But again, it easily comes clean with some oven cleaner in a bag. I wouldn't do it on the inside of the grill. I would pop it out. Pops out from the bottom, and you can easily clean it that way. Easy peasy, don't ever think it. Great questions. Keep them coming, everybody.
All right, so Jody, this one is coming from Tim.
What's up, Tim?
Tim wants to know, are there any tips on cleaning the bullseye out?
Oh, a great question. So tips on cleaning the bullseye. The same thing about these grills is it's going to take less ash to fill that bad boy up, okay? So you probably want to clean out the bottom about 2 to 3 times a year. Again, use that cheap shop vac. Get the super cheap bucket vac one. That way you can only clean your grill out. But clean out your fire pot every 4 to 5 cooks. The vents, check the vents on that bad boy. Also, check that bead around where the lid hits the body. You don't want that to seal either. Keep your eye on that. Make sure you get rid of all of that creosote there. And make sure your hopper's clean. That bad boy shoots some pellets out of it, but you don't want to get a buildup of that ash down at the bottom of your hopper because you don't want it to end up in your fire pot. Very good questions, y'all. And again, if that ash gets put into your fire pot, it's just going to burn up like paper. okay? And it's gonna give you temperature fluctuations, and you're gonna think that the grill did something wrong, when in fact, it was just, you know, that ash bead in there. And not ash, but pellet dust. Very good questions. Keep them coming, everybody.
Michael asked Jody, he says,
Michael.
I've been having problems with other guys' pellets. Where can I get recteq pellets from? And if I have to use other pellets, who should I use?
Yeah, so definitely check out recteq.com, recteq.com. You can also go to participating Ace Hardwares. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ace has welcomed us in with open arms, kicking a couple of the competitors out. And letting us come in. If you don't see any recteq merchandise or anything at your local Ace Hardware, make sure you recommend us. So we went through all of the tips and tricks. Some folks are probably going to wonder about cleaning the outside of the body. I like to purchase that recteq grill cleaner and use that scoring pad. But when you're using the scoring pad, make sure you just look at the grain of your metal. That way you go with the grain. Don't go against the grain, because you may make swirl marks with that pad. And you can use a Brillo pad as well. But thank you so much for all of the amazing questions. Take these tips, write them down, and make sure you do them on a yearly basis, ladies and gentlemen. You will have a much better recteq experience. You won't have to call customer service or anything like that. Let us know if you need anything in the comment section down below, or if you have any other questions, we'll try to answer those as well. But from everybody here at the recteq Worldwide Headquarters, God bless you, God bless the United States of America. We'll see you at the recteq.